Hello friends, Naeem Sidhu here with another video. The inside fight that can burn the region. When power runs wild, only awareness can save you. South Asia is sitting on a fuse, and it's not India, not Afghanistan, not even the border. It's something happening inside Pakistan, a power struggle so uncontrolled that one wrong move could shake the entire region, choke trade worth billions, and pull global powers into the crisis nobody's ready for. And here's the part nobody tells you: this instability is not accidental, it's built into the system, and you are the one who pays for it. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how internal power rivalries inside one country could ignite conflicts with neighbors, how careless decisions are shutting down billions of dollars trade routes, why Putin and Modi's hugs matter to Pakistan more than anyone admits, and how a simple border skirmish can be turned into a national drama to justify power. If you want to understand the real reason this region is becoming more dangerous and how it affects your purse, your future, and the entire Eurasian map, stay with me. Because once you see the pattern, you'll never look at our crisis the same way again. Let's see power without breaks. A stable country needs checks and balances. But whenever a single pillar begins to overshadow all others, something dangerous happens. Escalation replaces strategy. Aggression replaces diplomacy. Conflict replaces negotiation. And when this mindset becomes institutional, the state starts to believe that only one form of authority can guarantee survival. Even that authority itself created the conditions of insecurity. This is the root of instability in this region. The statement I'll talk about that exposed the mindset I'm talking about. A spokesman recently said that if a certain political leader were in power during a crisis, he would have run for negotiations. This was meant as criticism, but unintentionally, it exposed something far more serious. It suggested that talking is weakness and confrontation is strength. This framing aligns with a worldview where escalation is valuable because it justifies the claim. We alone can protect you. And once this narrative takes hold, it rewards crisis creation, pressure tactics, and confrontational posturing because all of it reinforces the institution's indispensability. Now, when border incident becomes strategy, borders in South Asia are volatile. Skirmishes happen, shots are fired. One isolated incident doesn't change the geopolitics, but the reaction to that incident does. When internal power centers seize upon a minor border clash as an opportunity to demonstrate the strength or justify their role, it creates unnecessary escalation and public anxiety. This is how a small spark becomes national drama, not because of event itself, but because of the incentive structure behind it. The self-inflicted wound, have you noticed? The trade cost. The internal competition doesn't only create security problems, it harms the economy in ways that may take decades to reverse. Pakistan trade with Afghanistan, legal or illegal combined, it crosses $5 billion in volume. Much of the trade sustains entire markets, logistics networks, trucking sector, transportation, and border communities on both sides. Closing this economic artery does more than halt goods. It will stop Pakistan's gateway to Central Asia, a region, immense economic opportunities there in this region. It deprives Pakistan of transit revenue, Afghan transit trade. It weakens Pakistan's negotiating position in regional connectivity projects. And most dangerously, it creates permanent public hostility among Afghan communities who once depended on Pakistan for commerce, travel, healthcare, and education. No country can afford enmity with its neighbor, especially one that forms your natural route to the entire Eurasian heartland. If economic strength had ever been the top priority, this policy would never have been adopted. When economy is not the priority, let's talk on this issue. Every strong country in modern history built its power on trade. China, Turkey, UAE, India, Vietnam, South Korea, all rose through economic first thinking. Economic first. Pakistan had the same opportunity. Had trade and economic power been replaced at the center of foreign policy, I repeat, had trade and economic power been placed at the center of foreign policy, borders would be managed through cooperation, not hostility. Transit routes to Central Asia could be treated as national assets. Regional markets could be cultivated instead of blocked. Security policy would shift from confrontation to development. Pakistan's global relevance would increase through economic leverage, not military signaling. But internal power competition diverted national focus away from economic integration into world, because instability strengthens one pillar while weakening all others. This is how nations fall behind. Let's have a look at President Putin and Prime Minister Modi's embraces. It's a regional message. While Pakistan wrestles with internal fractures and closed borders, the world's move on. When images of President Putin embracing Modi emerged, they were more than ceremonial. They were a reminder that India is viewed as a stable, predictable, long-term partner. A signal that Russia will deepen defense cooperation within New Delhi. A message that even the Ukraine war has not weakened India-Russia ties. Even, Europe is against this visit, and I saw so many Twitter posts in which European, especially, British and French, German, they were criticizing this visit. But it, carried on. For Pakistan, three consequences emerge. Number one, the regional military balance tilts further toward India. Russia sees India as a consistent partner and Pakistan as unpredictable. I mean, not only Russia, for everyone, even the closest allies. Pakistan's internal divisions reduce its diplomatic weight. When others build alliances, while you build internal enemies, the world doesn't wait for you to stabilize. Now let's see the religion card. I mean, it's a toxic political weapon. Both India and Pakistan are guilty of weaponizing religion. In India, political identity is increasingly tied to religious majoritarianism. In Pakistan, religion is routinely invoked to shape narratives, mobilize crowds, and delegitimize rivals. The irony? What's the irony? Dr. David Reich from Harvard Labs, his genetic research shows that over 75% of populations in Pakistan and India share the same ancestral roots, more than most modern nations. Scientifically, genetically, we are one of the most interconnected populations on earth. Politically, we are made to believe we are eternal enemies. When leaders find it easier to rally crowd with religious emotion instead of economic reform, the religion becomes more dangerous and less prosperous. Religion becomes a tool of control, not spirituality. Fear becomes a policy instrument. Hatred becomes political capital, and people suffer for myths created by elites who benefit from division. Let's talk about the internal fragmentation and external manipulation. Whenever a state is internally divided, global powers take positions. China adjusts its investment. CPEC, BRI, Belt and Road Initiative. Russia rebalances its ties. India expands its strategic partnerships. The US revises its regional calculus. US is already working and having a transactional policy, especially President Trump. And he is shifting, his policies day to day, on day-to-day basis. Foreign capitals see opportunity in your confusion. Internal instability becomes external leverage. This is how nations lose autonomy, not through invasion, but through internal competition for supremacy. Let's see how it goes for the people. The public pays for every mistake. When elites complete the control, the consequences do not fall on them. On who it falls, the consequences? They fall on shopkeepers, exporters, farmers, truck drivers, students, daily wage workers, small business, border communities, the entire lower and middle class. Every escalation it raises prices. Every border closure kills jobs. Every miscalculation damages the currency. Every institutional rivalry pushes investors away. That's what's happening in Pakistan. SIFC, I mean, it can't do anything because of this internal chaos and security situation. And, day to day matters how these are being held in Pakistan. These are being run in Pakistan. That's why awareness matters, because the public deserves to understand what actually benefits from the instability they are told to fear. The fight we must see, the real threat to the region is not one border clash, not one skirmish, not one political dispute. The real threat is unrestrained power, internal competition, and policies driven by institutional ego rather than national interest. A region with shared ancestry, shared culture, shared challenges, and shared history is being pushed into distrust by leaders who profit from division. When power runs wild, it seeks legitimacy through fear. But when the public becomes aware, power is forced to return to accountability. And that is why this story matters. Because only awareness can save us. If you like our content, please encourage, subscribe, comment, and like. Thank you for your time.